welcome back. In the previous sessions, we had discussed about the elementary aspects of what is marketing and what is the definition of marketing, and a few core concepts that are required as foundations to understanding retail management in detail. Now, in this session, we are going to start off with introducing what retail is and why retail management is essential. So, you would have gone to retail stores very often, and you would have seen that the retail stores offer a lot of services. They offer the availability of products and a lot of other things that you can consume and have ownership at that very instance. Now, consider, for example, if I am a FMCG manufacturer who is involved in the manufacturing of, let's say, for example, soaps, and if I am in the business of manufacturing soaps, I require to have a presence in the market to ensure that I can reach to as many consumers as possible and make sure that my soap is available to these consumers when they are trying to buy these products. But unless I have a third party person or an organization that helps me in achieving this objective of reaching to the masses, it might be physically or it might be infeasible for me to actually have the presence in the market as I would desire. Say, for example, if you are considering a nation like India, and if I as a soap manufacturer, let us assume that I have my plants in Delhi and Mumbai, if I have to make sure that the soap is available to all different states and to all different consumers in all of these states, it might be infeasible for me to do it on my own. So, that is why I try to establish different channels, and at the end of this channel where the consumer comes and purchases these products and services is what is essentially what we call as retailing. So, we will discuss retailing in detail during the entire duration of this course, but to define retailing, retailing is a set of activities that add value to the products and services sold to consumers for their personal or family use. Retailing encompasses the business activities which involved in selling goods and services for the consumption of an individual personally, for their family, or for the household use. So, we are not essentially going to talk a lot about B2B related activities, because there is a different channel by which B2B activities are sold to, or B2B products and services are sold to consumers. But in the case of retailing, we will specifically talk about products and services that are sold for the personal use, for family use, or for household activities. It includes every different kind of products that you would see. Most frequently we will be discussing about groceries, FMCGs, etc., but even restaurants, movies, and automotives and banking, and a lot of these activities are part of retailing. Now, where is retailing coming into the picture, or where is retailing in the entire aspects of marketing that we discussed in the previous class? We had discussed that marketing is a set of activities, institutions, and processes which are involved in the creation, communication, delivery, and exchange of offerings which have value for customers, clients, stakeholders, and the society at large. Now, remember, we had discussed what each of these elements mean, what creation of value is, what communication of value is, what delivery of value is, and what exchange of value is. Now, retailing is the activity that is predominantly involved in the delivery of value for customers. This is where a valuable product or a valuable service that a manufacturer has made, say for example, in the case of soaps that I just mentioned to you, the soap that I have created has certain value that it provides to customers, because it has certain benefits with respect to how it can be used for hygienic purposes, how it can give you a healthy lifestyle, etc. So, there are some benefits that are there in the soap, there is a cost attached to the soap. So, how is that this value is created is part of the creation of value concept. How this value is communicated through advertising, sales promotion, other channels is what communication of value is. Now, how is this value, or in other terms, the soap actually given to the customer and made available to the customer is what we discussed in the delivery part of value, and exchange was exchange of lot of other things. So, delivery of value is where we talk about the retailing aspects of things. And in another format, you would have seen that we discussed about the 4 P's of marketing, which include the product, the price, the place, and the promotion. Now, the product is the actual tangible, intangible elements of the offering that is given to you. The price is how much you have to sacrifice in order to receive the product or receive that value in the product. The place is where we talk about the exchange happening, or that is a marketplace from where the customer can procure or have ownership or have that product or services consumed, is where we talk about retailing. And of course, promotion is all the other communication techniques that we will discuss in other courses, not particularly in this courses. Of course, we will talk about organizations that are involved in the activity called retailing. Now, why is that retailers are so important, and why is that retailing is such a critical part? Now, think about the example that I just gave you. In case we are considering that I am a manufacturer of soap, in order for me to reach to the entire length and breadth of this country and to make sure that the product is available to every different customer who is looking for the product, it might be a rural customer who wants to get the product from a kirana store nearby to his house, or it could be an urban customer who wants to go to one of the organized retail channels and buy the soap. There needs to be a channel mechanism that is put in place. By a channel, I mean a set of intermediaries who work together so that goods can be taken from the manufacturer all the way to the consumer. So like you can see in the picture here, you might find that the products are manufactured at the manufacturer level, and once products are manufactured at the manufacturer level, it is not possible for the manufacturer, most of the times FMCG companies etc., to directly take it to all the different consumers who might be in crores and a lot of crores, right. So hence there needs to be a set of intermediaries who come into the picture. You might have wholesalers, you might have distributors, you might have cash and carry operators, you might have a lot of these different intermediaries, all of whom I am calling as channel. I will discuss about different channels in one of the subsequent sessions, but there is going to be a channel, and towards the end of this channel, the last mile of this distribution is taken care of by the retailer. The retailer is the store or the organized mall that you go to and buy this product, and it is from the retailer that the consumer gets this product or purchases this product. So retailing is an essential activity because retailing is what ensures that manufacturers have the reach in the market, manufacturers are able to share the roles and responsibilities with other members in the channel. Say for example, manufacturer can focus on production and focus on creating more valuable goods and services for the consumers, while all the other activities including distribution and including warehousing and including ensuring that the product is available in really nice stores, in the shelves of really nice stores, is all taken care of by other people who have expertise in such activities and not necessarily something that the manufacturer has to think about. So reach in the market, sharing roles and responsibilities, and also in some times by having an extremely good channel mechanism and having a really good retail partner ensures that manufacturers can now let go of a little bit of risk involved in ensuring that the products are available to consumers. Otherwise they would have to invest heavily in ensuring that they have the kind of retail presence, they have the kind of staff that is required to run all these retail stores, they have to have the entire logistics system in place, etc. So retailing in itself is a very critical activity when it comes to marketing, and that is why this course will introduce to you all different aspects of retailing. In this session, we will talk about why retailing is important, what are the different aspects of retailing which are worth consideration in this course, etc. In the subsequent courses, in the subsequent sessions, we are going to discuss about the retail situation in India, retail consumer behavior in specific. We will go into different aspects that are important when it comes to creating a retail strategy per se, and we will see what kind of case studies are available which can give you some insights of how to manage a retail store. So at the end of it, you will not just get the idea of how a retail store is managed, but you will get the idea of what happens in the back end with respect to planning, with respect to merchandising, with respect to visual merchandising, with respect to managing people in the store, etc., etc. So a lot of these things will be covered in the duration of this course. So having discussed what retailing is, now we will try to identify why is that studying retailing is so critical when you are a marketing student, and why is that retailing has such a great importance in the times that we live today. One of the major reasons why retailing is to be studied and studied well is because of the changing demographics. In a country like India, you would have seen that today consumers have a lot of purchasing power. Consumers are looking to consume more and more of products which they were not doing so in the earlier years. Consumers have higher income levels today. Consumers are much more employable. Consumers are getting influenced by a lot of international products, and a lot of globalization is coming in. Because of all of this changing demographics, consumers are demanding more from the manufacturer, and consumers are expecting that they need to get all of these products at the end of their fingertips. So that is one reason why we need to have a very critical understanding as to what retailing is and why retailing is and how you can effectively function in the world of retailing. The second most important thing is, many of times we would find that retailing is a business which is considered to be easy to enter into. Many a times you would find that many of the business operations start off at the retailing level rather than starting off at the manufacturing level, because it seems like it is something that is easy to enter. But unless you are capable of understanding how the retail operations are to be taken care of, this ease of entry might actually become a disadvantage for you rather than an advantage. And there are the retail retail space in India is extremely fragmented. You might find that many of these retailers who are available in India are in very small scale operations. You have organized retail that is coming in with large chain stores that are trying to dominate the entire market, but almost 85% plus of the entire retail stores in India are still the small independently owned retail stores, and the entire decision making involved in the retail store is extremely complex. The complex decision making in itself makes it an important area where scientific decision making methods have to be brought in. Say for example, consider that you are in a fairly big retail store. Say for example, one of the Reliance Freshes or one of the big bazaars, etc. There might be in between somewhere between 10,000 to 20,000 different SKUs that are available in the store at any given point of time. Now SKU is the stock keeping unit. This is the smallest unit at which you can identify a product or service. So if you are taking for example one brand of biscuit and one size of packaging, that will be in itself classified as an SKU. So if you have 10,000 to 20,000 different units of SKUs that are available, then think about the complexity in ensuring that all of these products are available in the store, all of these products are arranged properly in the shelves, and all of these products are replenished whenever consumers are consuming it and the products get out of stock. So all of these complex decisions make it very important that retailing has to be studied in great detail. The next thing is, many a times when it comes to groceries or FMCG retail, the per unit margin that the retailer gets is often not very substantial. So because of this low per unit margin, in case you have to have profitable business, you have to have scientific methods that are employed to make sure that you can have large volumes of products which are highly in demand are sold, and because of such high volumes that you are able to convert, you might have substantially good revenues that are coming to you. So hence, because of the low per unit margin, it becomes extremely critical that we understand what we are doing. The customers' preferences are changing. You understand how internet retail and how organized retail is coming to dominate the entire market. Even in internet retail and organized retail, you will find that there is more and more fragmentation that is happening. Rather than just having one big department store that is catering to a large number of different product categories, you have niches that are coming in. You have very specialized retailers that are now operating, wherein your target audience is reducing in numbers, but the value that you offer to the customer is increasing. So there is always going to be a trade-off between how many customers you are serving and how much value you are serving for each of these customers. So hence, again, for that requirement, it's important that you study retail in detail. The next element is of course of technology. With the emergence of internet, with the emergence of computational technology, how mobile phones are being used in the retail space, how artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and a lot of such technology is being used in the retail space, the entire retail landscape is changing. You would have heard about terms like omni-channels, etc., which are now the buzzwords in most of the retail operations around the world, because of the fact that technology is an enabler that helps you do all of these things. The next element is because many parts of the country still have very limited access when it comes to retailers. Say for example, when you go outside the metros, tier 1, tier 2 cities, and when you go to the rural parts of the country, which is a large segment of our population, retailers still are not present in huge numbers, and it is not always possible for manufacturers to get to retailers and provide the kind of products and services that they expect to sell to these people. So again, inadequate access is another reason why retailing and studying retailing is exceptionally important. And again, more products in the market and high competition from a lot of different retailers is again a reason. So because of all of these reasons, and because of the entire context changing very rapidly, it is important that we understand retail and understand the theories and techniques behind retailing, so that we can manage our retail stores and we can design our retail experience much more efficiently. Okay, now we had discussed what retailing is, we discussed why studying retailing is important. We are briefly covering a lot of these things which I will come to in detail in subsequent courses. Now since we are in India, we also need to have an understanding of how retail operations exist and how retail operations are present in India. Now if you look into all types of retailing in India, you will find that retailing in India can be classified into different types of formats. One of the most frequently found formats would be the mom and pop shop format, or the kirana store format, or towards in the South India you would generally call them as Malliga Kadai format. So these are the types of stores which are small stores which don't carry a lot of different product variety and assortment, but are available at a convenient location when it comes to the customer. And such stores are often associated with a very strong relationship when it comes to consumers and the storekeeper. And many times the storekeeper or one or two people who are working for the storekeeper are the people who are managing the entire operation of the store. Again, the store has its own advantages, but then there is an organized retail format that is also picking up very rapidly in India. If you look into the percentage of consumers who go to organized retail as compared to kirana stores, you might find that 80 to 85% of the market is still dominated by small mom and pop shops, which are also known as kirana stores. Again, this is when it comes to the general merchandise and the fast moving consumer good category. When it comes to other products, you will find that there is a huge boom when it comes to luxury retail in India. You would find that a lot of global luxury brands are coming into India now. To take a few examples, you might have experienced recently that the world famous apparel brands like H&M, like Zara, etc., Forever 21 have had their presence in India for some time now, and a lot of customers, especially customers in the urban sector, are moving towards this kind of a very specialized luxury kind of a format, and finding a lot of value there. Although the traditional apparel sector and the traditional clothing markets, which are also present in most cities, are also growing because of the number of consumers who are trying to consume more with the amount of savings and the amount of incomes that they are having. So in all of these sectors, you will find that the retail landscape in India is completely changing, and the retail landscape is changing in such a way that the retail is projected to grow at an exponentially high level. When it comes to online retail versus offline retail, you will also find that there is a huge change that is happening. Online retail until a few years ago was not so great or not so big in India, because there were a lot of problems that consumers had. There was a lot of resistance to accepting the online channel. People had a lot of credibility issues with the kind of products that were sold in India or sold on the online channel in India. People had a lot of problem with using non-cash based payment methods on the online platform. People had a lot of problem with not having the right kind of haptic response that they expected from the product. Say for example, when you are buying say textile from an online store, you are not able to touch and feel the cloth and understand the quality of the cloth, which is one important element when you are going to a textile shop or an apparel store and buying cloths. So hence such kinds of limitations used to exist in the online space, but today you might have seen that the penetration of online retail is subsequently or is substantially increasing when it comes to the Indian consumers. There have been a lot of mechanisms, a lot of methods that have been put in place by a lot of online retailers to eliminate the challenges that they had earlier. Say for example, people who were not able to use credit card or debit card facilities earlier have now the option of using cash on delivery or paying cash on delivery formats. People who were not able to analyze whether the product that is being sold on an online channel is going to be an original product or a counterfeit product, today have the opportunity to have credible reviews that are available on online platforms, wherein they can read the review and understand whether the product is an original product or a counterfeit product according to the previous consumer experiences. For people who had problems with having long delivery times that are required for a lot of products to be delivered to your household, today you are finding that more and more companies are providing you same day delivery, 1 day delivery, 2 day delivery, etc., making sure that the product is available to you without a large amount of time being wasted in shipments, etc. And with respect to haptic response, now a lot of companies a lot of e-commerce platforms are trying to bring in a lot of videos, a lot of reviews are brought in. Say for example, when you go to Amazon or when you go to Flipkart, you have the ability of reading through the experience of a lot of other consumers and thereby understanding what the product is like and how the product would perform, thereby reducing a little bit of the uncertainty that you would have when you are thinking about the product's haptic responses. So because of all of these things, gradually the Indian consumer is moving away from, I wouldn't say completely away from the online format, but consumers are moving gradually towards the online format, because online format gives the consumer a lot of advantages as compared to the traditional brick and mortar store. You have the ability to shop any time of the day. You don't have to be available in the store at the time that the store is operating, so you can shop 24/7. You have the ability of saving something in the cart and then making a decision later on, so you can keep pondering on the decision and then identify whether or not to buy the product later on. You have information available on the website very easily, which can be compared with other products. So rather than just going to the store and not being able to identify which of the products you want, today you are able to compare products on the online platform and see which product is better as compared to the other product. And also you have the ability of, or you are given the opportunity opportunity to have a reduced price because of the fact that online channels are not necessarily warehousing a lot of products or are not necessarily paying a lot of rent when it comes to retail space. So, because of all of these things, the Indian retail landscape is in a very dynamic place right now. You are seeing that new and new formats that are coming in. You are seeing that the online versus offline struggle or the tussle is now very dynamic, and a lot of online companies are trying to grab a share of the offline market. A lot of offline companies are defending with strategies wherein they are trying to match the price of products in the offline and the online space. A lot of consumers are, a lot of companies are now getting into the omni-channel space wherein they are trying to nullify the effect of online channels. And you would also find that a lot of kirana stores which initially had been threatened by the organized retail are still dominantly present in the neighborhoods where they had been, because of the loyalty and because of the kind of patronage that they get from a lot of consumers who live in the neighborhood. Of course, the kind of products that kirana stores used to sell 10 years ago versus the kind of products that kirana stores sell today have undergone some amount of transformation, but still they are in business and many of them are doing quite well, and many of them are now growing to get out of that traditional kirana store business and getting into a small department store kind of business. So, all of these are things that are happening in the Indian retail space. When you go out next time into the retail into the retail environment, try to connect with what I am talking about and try to experience how the retail landscape in India is evolving. So, new trends that are emerging in the retail scene in India include, like I mentioned to you about the rise of internet as a very dominant channel by which many companies and many retailers are now reaching out to the consumers. Traditionally, you would have seen that when the internet retail channel started off, they started off with a lot of products like movies and books, etc., which were easily identifiable by consumers and then can be shipped to consumers without having a lot of problem in the logistic operations of it. But as companies have moved on, they have now gotten into a lot of different product categories that are fulfilled by the online channel or by the internet channel. Today, you will find that almost all different product categories are available in the internet channel or the online channel. It includes everything right from the FMCG categories to everything about durables to mobile phones to washing machines to internets, and even today you can order or you can book your car from the internet channel as well. And also you would find that traditionally there was only a series of packaged goods that were available in the online channel. But today you will also find that a lot of companies that are now trying to create a niche with respect to green produce and how green produce is transferred through the online channel. Companies like Grofers, companies like Big Basket, etc., who are dominating this space are able to provide customers with a lot of opportunities when it comes to buying fruits and vegetables and dairy products, etc., from the online channel. So, online retail is one of the biggest advancements that is happening in the retail space in India in the current decade, and this would be one of the most important aspects when in the years in the future as well. Another thing that is happening is with the emergence of internet and with the availability of applications on the app stores and on the iOS platform, you have a lot of banks and a lot of service providers today who are getting into the internet retail application. So, no longer do you have the requirement of going to the bank to do your basic banking activities, but a lot of retail banking activities have now moved away from the physical branch into an online platform. Generally it is on a website or it is on a mobile application, which again is a reason why a lot of banks are able to service many more customers as compared to a few years earlier. There is always a conflict or a tussle between the online and the offline channels. Say for example, you might find that a mobile phone which is available in the online channel for 10,000 rupees is available in the offline traditional channel at say 12,000 or 12,500 rupees. Now, this creates a conflict between these two channels. The conflict here is that many times consumers would want to buy the product only from the internet channel and not from the physical channel. But because the product is available in the physical channel, I might find the product nearby to my house. I'll go to the store and I'll use the product and I'll try to see what are the features. I'll try to touch and feel the product. I'll see whether the weight of the product is as I expected, etc. And hence I might consume a lot of time of the store and the store manager or the salesperson in the store, but I'll not buy the product from the store. I'll rather go to the internet platform or the online platform and buy it from there because I get a discount or I get a cheaper rate for this product in the online channel. Now, this specific phenomenon is known as showrooming, and similarly there is a phenomenon called web rooming, which is involved in when you go online and try to look at the product in the online channel but not buy it there and buy it in the physical channel. Now both of these are problems that many of the retailers and many of the manufacturers were facing, because now you have one channel or one format which is gaining at the expense of the other formats. Say for example, your traditional retail channel is giving all the information and giving all the pre-purchase information to the customer, while the customer never buys it from that store but always goes to the online channel to buy it from there because of the price advantage. Now when such situations happen, there is going to be a lot of conflict, a lot of inefficiency and a lot of damage that it can do to both of these channels, which is not something that many of the manufacturers and many of the retailers want. So that is why there is this growing phenomenon of omni-channel retailing that is getting predominance. In omni-channel retailing, you are trying to seamlessly integrate both of these channels, so that now consumers can go to either of these channels or can use both of these channels simultaneously, but the manufacturer and the retailer are not losing much by having such things. We will come into details of omni-channel retailing in a little bit in one of the subsequent sessions. There is a lot of technology that is again coming in. Apart from the internet alone, the Internet of Things is making the retail environment exceptionally great. You have a lot of artificial intelligence that is coming in today. You have a virtual reality that is coming in today. So for example, if you want to buy a spectacle online, you might find that there are ways by which you can upload a picture of yours and see how that product is going to look on your face. You can try on different clothes without actually going into the trial room in a retail space, because now you have a virtual reality wherein you can change clothes on a screen in front of you in the store. So all of these technologies are coming in and making the store experience much more better for the customer. You also have a lot of these technologies that are coming in the back end of the store operation. Say for example, today most of the products you find will have RFID tags. Now by having RFID tags, one, it is better for inventory management and for merchandise management. Two, it is very easy for retail stores to ensure that shoplifting and such kinds of problems are eliminated. So such kind of technology is also coming into the retail scene, making it much more interesting. So these are a few of the introductory aspects that I wanted to bring to you in this session. In the subsequent sessions, we are going to discuss each of these things and much more in quite a lot of detail, so that you can get a complete and holistic idea of what retail is to offer and what you should do when you are in a retail role. Thank you.